What is up, YouTube? It's your boy, Mad Pig and Matt here. And today I'm coming at you with yet another deck profile. Now, when I go to locals, I have a habit of liking to do some dumb self-imposed challenge in order to, kind of just make a mockery of the people around me. And this week, I decided to do something extra spicy in that I played a whole main and side deck of nothing but commons. Yes, commons. So since challenge videos are all the rage these days, I guess, you can call this the all common challenge. So before I do the big reveal of what is this all common deck, I would like to make note that the performance it did at locals was as such. It was about a 13 people local, so we got 4 rounds with no, top 4 playing it out. Instead, it was just you reported your thing, and then you got a ranking based on your wins. And my matches were 1 Dino, which I beat 2-1. 1 Altergeist that I very, very much 2-0'd. A Ballpark Insect deck, which I very, very mega 2-0'd. And then Dragon Link, which proceeded to 2-0 me because the bricks were real. So overall today, I actually got 2nd place with this deck. So yeah, anything's possible. And if you're curious, what deck could possibly do this? Well, I played Goukis. I'd also like to make note before we get too deep into this. My extra deck, I had to play a lot of really good cards to actually do this, so unfortunately, this is not all commons, but essentially these cards are the reason why this deck can perform, even playing some suboptimal choices for a challenge as such, but that's neither here nor there. Here's the deck profile for you. For the Goukis, I played 3 Suprex, 1 Twist Cobra, 2 Headbat, 2 Octo Stretch, 1 Guts. The reason I only played 1 of him is because I only own 1 common. The other ones are either Super or Starfoil, which is really annoying. But he was kind of irrelevant. He was just another name in a different level. Suprex is like the best starter, and I was very happy when I could start with him in special, one of the guys. Headbat was actually probably my MVP because he was the one that allowed you to extend. Octo Stretch is what you're always going to summon out via your Isold. And this little guy right here, fun fact, his effect to not die when he's in defense mode won me a game. Because somebody hit him, flipped him face up, and then couldn't use the big mega conductor guy on him. So yeah, this was actually an absolutely fantastic ratio, and I don't really know if I'd want to change it. Now on to the extenders. Alright, so I was kind of limited in terms of what I could actually play in order to kind of make this deck be more degenerate. And in some instances, I was also stuck with the fact that I had a limited number of copies of cards in the specified rarity in question. So, because I couldn't use most of the Fire Warrior stuff, I opted for the Neospace Connector package. I mean, it baits hand traps, but if you don't have a follow-up, it sucks. Aqua Dolphin's cool though. These two are essentially the same card. You can roto for junk forward, but if you're not under the restriction of commons, this guy is a little bit better, but in this case, they were both about the same. Blue Mountain Butterspy was, just an extender. And I put these guys in this category even though they're extenders via your extra deck stuff, and I'm Pretty sure if you see Boots and Cloak, you know what that is. And this guy, admittedly, was actually super duper cool. I really like this card. I am really glad Konami printed it as a common, because I remember seeing this early and being really surprised that they would do that. But yeah, those are all my Warrior extension cards. And to kind of round things out, you play the single greatest hand trap ever printed in this game, followed by another really good one. And then because, you know, you were already playing some extra deck specific cards, why not play the single greatest extra deck cards of them all? Also, this guy loved to sit in my hand. Jerk. For spells and traps, you played 2 Gouki rematch, 1 living fossil, 1 divide sword phoenix blade, and 1 reinforcement of the army. These are the 2 best equipped spells you really can play. Sometimes I wanted to play 3, but I think 2 was just fine, because you can break on this card, and reinforcement of the army is kind of self-explanatory. You also played 1 instant fusion, because, you know, sometimes you just need to pump out a warrior, even though I didn't use this once today. You play this because it makes the best card in the game. This is an absolutely fantastic extender. This card I never really resolved, so it was just kind of a thing. Then I played 1 Called by the Grave, which I used on somebody, and they were very, very salty, so it was worth it. 1 Upstart Goblin to play 39 cards. And for your Phantom Knight stuff, I played 2 Fogblade and 1 Shade Brigandine. These 2 cards put in a lot of work today and are very, very good. So yeah, let's go to the side deck so you can see the other host of commons before I show you the cards that actually made this deck extra super duper busted. Side deck, I played 2 Artifact Lancia, 2 DD Crow, 2 Drill and Lockbird, 1 Dino Wrestler Prankatops. I thought it would be cute to play the Swords of Concealing Light. It did nothing. 1 Mind Control, 3 Cosmic Cyclones. I thought these would be cute. They did nothing. And then 1 Red Reboot, which I resolved on somebody, and they were very, very salty. Yeah, this was actually quite hard to do because there's not a lot of good common side deck cards. I mean, Konami has done their best, but overall, this was just about as much a hard hindrance as anything else when doing this type of challenge. But overall, the vast majority of these cards at least did somewhat decent. There's only a few that I was like, thought would be cute, but they did nothing. I used 14 of these 15 cards today. But you need every single one of these, and probably these quantities, in order to have this deck truly perform in the most optimal way possible. Yes, I know this is an all-common challenge. At the same time, sometimes you just have to, like, play good cards in order to, like, do stuff. And if I tried to play, like, an entire extra deck of mostly just, like, those common Gouki guys or other stuff, like, I don't know, Utopia or something, this deck wouldn't have achieved as, you know, good a finish today as it did. So, like, take with it what you will, but in all honesty, if you're going to play Warrior, you're going to play a lot of these cards anyways. So, let's just go over it. You play Link Karibo for the combo with the Octo Stretch. Same thing with the Link Cross. Play Anaconda because he makes Dragoon. IP to have an interrupt on your opponent's turn. 2 Isold because they will hit one, I guarantee. The Codebreaker package because it's really, really good. Bardiche because he is just an unfair advantage generator. It got taken off the ban list. Unicorn so you can spin stuff. Access code so you can continue to just wreck everybody's day. Apolloza to protect you from hand traps when you're setting up your multi-negate board. Dark Dragoon, because he's the best card in Yu-Gi-Oh! Dweller, because he's arguably one of the best rank 4s. And the reason you play the Invoked Raijin is because he's a quick play Book of Moon. So yeah, I used everything, and it was great. So there you go, folks. All common Warrior Link. Did I cheat in this little all common challenge? I don't know. Maybe. But there's always caveats to every competition. And in this case, at the very least, I built a really good budget version of a really degenerate deck. Because for the most part, you can get the vast majority of these cards for a fairly affordable price, and then have something you could easily take to your locals and do really well with. But yeah, guess just before I sign out, I'll follow this up with a basic play combo, so if this deck looked interesting, you could kind of get an idea of just how strong it is. So let's try to set that up. Alright, in the simplest way possible, here's the combo. Summon your warrior, you extend. You link your 2 Goukis off into Isolt. You got 3 chain links going. One of your Goukis needs to add your headbat. Another Gouki needs to add your rematch. And Isolt can add your discard Gouki. Alright, so this should be your field. Next you Isolt, you send your Divine Sword so you can get your Octo Stretch. You control a Gouki, so you can use Headbat to discard a Gouki to summon him, boost his attack. That's irrelevant. So this is your board right now. Next, it's very important that you turn Octo Stretch into a Link Karibo. Octo Stretch will activate. You should just add another Guts or rematch because, well, card's busted. Next, you turn all of these guys into your Apollousa. You're gonna get a search with the headbat. So, I don't know, just add any Gouki, kind of doesn't matter. So then from here, you play your Monster Reborn, and you gotta summon 2 different levels. And every one, you can't really revive one of them, so by this point you're done adding stuff. Then you just get your 2 Goukis, and you turn them into Codebreaker Virus Swordsman. And what Swordsman does is when he's co-linked, when he's summoned, he takes your 0 day from your hand, deck, or graveyard and special summons him. That's really good. Something to make note, this guy is actually lowering her attack, but it won't matter too much because once you link away with him, she'll go back to, the 3 negates or whatever, depending on the course of the game. Then from here, you'll link them into Codebreaker Virus Berserker, who when he's co-linked when summoned, summon these 2 from grave. So then from here, what you do is you turn your big bad guy into a Link Cross, and then Link Cross, all you really need to do is just get 1 token that you're then going to tribute that 1 token for the Link Karibo engrave. And then you take your 2 darks and you turn them into Rusty Bardiche. And then what Bardiche will do is send the cloak to set the Shade Brigandine, which you can just activate. And then you can banish your cloak to get your boots. And then you can summon your boots because you have the Phantom Knights card, either the Trap or the Bardiche. And then from here, you'll turn these 2 into Verte, Anaconda, and then you can just kind of banish this guy to get a fog blade. And then from here you have one of two options. You could either overlay these two or Abyss Dweller if you're worried about that type of deck, or you can link these two away for an IP Masquerena, who has the added benefit of on your opponent's turn you can Nightmare Unicorn them, and since Unicorn and Bardiche will be co-linked, when you do that you'll get a draw, so it's really, really good. But at this point you've pretty much done everything you need to do. So you send your Red Eyes Fusion, you get rid of your vanilla guys, and then you summon, you know, Big Daddy Dragoons here. And then from this point you just set your Fog Blade, you just banish two inconsequential warriors from your graveyard to get your little, wherever it is. This is real hard to do with one hand. There we go. To get your sword, oh, sorry about that, back to your hand. So at this point, from two cards, which I guess might as well just put two, three inconsequential cards. Could be extenders, could be whatever. You'll end on a field of Dragoon's IP, Anaconda, Bardiche, a 3-negate Apollousa, a free discard, and stuff to do your combo again next turn. So yeah, I would say that's pretty darn good. Thank you very much for watching. This has been my all-common challenge. Make sure to like, comment, tell me what you think in the comment section down below. Any changes or improvements you would make, whether or not you would do this challenge yourself, and either what rarity you would pick or what deck you would build instead of Warrior. And yeah, this is Meh, Pig and Meh, signing up. And if you're curious, I went on TCG Player and kind of did a quick adding up of things. My main deck roughly only amounted to about this much. And then when I did about the same for my side deck, ignoring a couple changes, it only added up to about this much. So the fun fact is, you can build this whole deck for less than $100. Clearly the best playing goat. Sun